Good morning, everyone. It is Bread Basket Monday, and I have got an awesome cookbook to share with you. Let me go ahead, turn this camera around, and I will do the big reveal. I found this wonderful cookbook at Sam's Club of all places, Recipes from the World of Tolkien. I absolutely love it. And I thought we would do Bilbo's seed cake today for a Bread Basket Monday and just kind of test the cookbook out. Now, this is just going to be a review on that bread and recipe. Friday's video, I'm going to have a more in-depth review of the cookbook itself, including a look through and why I think it is so awesome. But for now, we've got all of our ingredients out and I am ready to get this started. So let's go ahead and get into the baking process. Now we're going to go ahead and put our butter and our sugar in a mixer so we can cream that together. Now the recipe does call for superfine sugar. You can get that at places like Whole Foods, Amazon. I've never actually seen it in any of my local grocery stores, but I have noticed that Aldi brand sugar has a much finer and more powdery texture to it than some of the other store brands or even the name brand sugars. So I'm not going to put that in my food processor to make it, like a super fine, because quite frankly, I think it might already be as powdery and fine as it's gonna get. So we'll go ahead, add that together. I'm going to turn this on, whip this really good, and then we will go ahead and add our eggs. And now on to the next step, and yes, you can see I've got a little friend over there staring at me, wondering what I'm doing over here. But we've got our butter and sugar creamed, so now on to the next step. We're going to do our beaten egg and our flour alternately into this bowl. Now this thing's a little bit loud, so I'm not going to torture your ears of video of that, but basically, you're just going to, while this is mixing, a little bit of egg, and then you're going to come in with just a little bit of flour, and you're going to switch between the two until both is used up, and you've got the beginnings of a dough. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will come back together when it's time for our orange and seeds and our baking powder. And look at that beautiful dough. And now let's go ahead and take a small quiet moment to get our orange and seeds ready. I've already got some tea. I'm going to put this lavender infused honey in it that I got from the farmer's market a couple of weeks ago. That is so good. And I especially love it with this Meyer lemon tea. And now that we've got our tea poured, we are ready to tackle the next step. ready for our last steps. We're going to go ahead and add our baking powder. We've got our caraway seeds. And, of course, our beautiful orange peel. There is nothing like grating an orange or baking with orange or lemon to really make your kitchen smell so good. And then last goes in our orange juice. And I will mix all this together and we will be ready to put it in the oven. And now we're going to very carefully pour this into our parchment paper lined loaf pan. It smells incredible, so I cannot wait to try this. But it's going to take an hour, maybe even a little bit longer to bake completely. So we do have some waiting time we're going to have to push through. And now to top it all off, we'll sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar. And this is ready for the oven. And that wasn't hard at all, but we do have some cleanup, so we'll take this time to get our dishes done, finish our tea, and then we will be ready to taste test. Guess what's done? I went ahead and put a knife through and it did come out clean. So we are ready to take this out of the oven. Look how gorgeous that is. And the smell is unbelievably good. Now for me, that didn't take the full hour, so if you do make this, just make sure you watch it because it might get done before you actually realize it. So now the hardest part we have right now is waiting for this to cool down before we can eat it. So we will let this sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then we will lift it out of that parchment paper, finally slice this thing, and get to try it. It is finally time to go ahead and lift this out. I cannot wait. Ooh. Now we'll go ahead and cut 2 slices because Mitch is on his lunch break and he is going to be able to taste test this with us. That cut so easy. Oh, look how nice and beautiful and spongy that is. Beautiful.
All right, you ready?
Yep, let's go.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost a cake. No.
It is. That's what I was kind of thinking too. Now, we do have some apricot jam left over.
Yeah.
From the Jane Austen recipe that we did. So I think a nice layer of apricot jam would be really good. But it's honestly great by itself.
Yeah.
The orange,
Yeah, it's got a really good flavor.
and those caraway seeds.
Yeah.
I think that's what really makes this bread.
Yeah, it's really good.
I was kind of shocked because I was like, caraway seeds with orange? I don't know. But it is a perfect combination. This would be great as a breakfast bread, which is what we're going to use it for, a tea bread, or just eat it. Like, you don't need an excuse. Just eat it. I love the ease at which this all came together. It was, pretty easy and quick. not really that expensive to make either. This is like one of those perfect recipes that you can impress, some friends and family with, and say it's inspired by the Lord of the Rings to boot. So that makes it even better. Now, as far as this cookbook, I'm so glad that I picked it up. And of course, I'm already going to go ahead and tell you I love it. And if you have a Sam's Club in your area, run and go grab it, because it's actually cheaper there than it is even on Amazon. So if you're lucky, you might be able to go in there, or have someone else that has a membership go in there and grab it for you. But remember, I'm going to save the in-depth review for our Friday video. So hope you stay tuned for that, so I can give you a little bit more of why I absolutely adore this cookbook. So stay tuned for that one, and we'll see you then. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.